It's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and I want to do a quick recap on Ghost IPR. I think a lot of you guys are getting confused about Ghost IPR, and that's a term I kind of coined as far as I know. Please do watch the other videos on Ghost IPR first before listening to this one. This will be the 2.0 version. If you want to watch those, you can go into my YouTube channel, Straightsmile Solutions, and you can go ahead and search by keyword. It's probably Ghost. From there, you want to definitely look at all the videos I have about Bolton discrepancies, keyword Bolton, fenestrations, anterior contacts, because we got to think about what is the reason that we do IPR. Those are the top 3 reasons we need IPR. Forget about the Ghost IPR. Why do we need IPR? We need IPR because there is a tooth size discrepancy. Yeah, if there's a mandibular Bolton, you're gonna need IPR unless you want to do veneers or fills on the small teeth on the top. Flip side, maybe on the upper if there was a lower one. So what else? If you have a case and hopefully you're using some type of CBCT function and you're taking a CBCT, if you've got it, you should really use it. It's absolutely miraculous, especially on adults. Otherwise, you've got to go old school and take cephs, take CBCT sagittal slices. You got to palpate the bone. Look for washboarding, because sometimes you can't, quote, expand away the crowding or expand away the IPR because you're going to have fenestrations. Here's an example right here. Sometimes you have anterior contacts at the end, so you need IPR. So these are needed IPR. So these are not ghost IPR. Ghost IPR is virtual IPR. The only time you add ghost IPR, and by the way, Invisalign does not know this term, so do not mention it, because they're not going to know what the heck you're talking about, is when you've used the Straightsmile Solutions debond workflow form. If you don't know this form, again, look within my channel, look up debond workflow. If you are one of our members, or even if you've just attended a webinar, done an a la carte session, we will give you a copy. It is our gift to you. Otherwise, all of our paperworks are $20 each. You can contact us to get a copy. We're pretty generous, so as long as you've collaborated with us in some way, shape, or form, we'll probably just give it to you. So walk through that workflow. If everything is done, the teeth are totally straight. There are no anterior contacts at the end. You're super happy with the alignment. All the things are done except you have a few random open contacts. That's where Ghost IPR comes in. But it only comes in when you've done everything else. That means you're 99.99999% done. And to be honest, probably those contacts would close if you just threw on bonded retainers and just let everything settle in. But if you want to tighten it up with aligners, great. I'm all for the Ghost IPR, but only under the circumstances where everything else is done. The bite is settled. You have 3 points of occlusion on the molars. You have 2 points of occlusion on the premolars. You have light canine guidance. Your alignment is 100% perfect. You have no anterior contacts. It is like money, money, money perfect, like ABO perfect case. The only thing you notice is that there's a few loose or open contacts. That's where the Ghost IPR comes in. That's where you're going to want to go ahead with your charting and your floss and run it through every contact. Anything that's a light contact that doesn't have a snap but is kind of like light, you're going to add Ghost IPR potentially, not necessarily. Now, if it's a full-on open contact, you should mark that. You should get out your leaf gauges, get out your IPR gauges and actually measure the contacts. Now remember, if you're jamming it in there, I mean, the teeth have PDLs, so you're gonna push it open. Just be gentle. Chart your open contacts. And again, you can do certain types of retention where these are just gonna close up with the retainers. But if you're thinking about doing an Essex or a Vivera retainer, you gotta close the contacts first. Otherwise, those contacts are gonna be period traps for a lifetime, and you don't want that. So go ahead and map out all the contacts, right? If they're 0.1, 0.2, write them down on a piece of paper. Then you go ahead and do your scan, just like any other refinement, you run it through. When the Clin comes back, it's going to say if there's open contacts, it's going to say 0.1 or 0.2. If it picks up the open contacts, great. You don't add Ghost IPR because it picked it up. Don't worry about it. You can throw VPC at the end or virtual power chain just to tighten it up. Of course, use that sparingly. Watch all my videos on when to use VPC and when not to use it, and be careful because it can cause crowding if you use it when you're not supposed to. But if it picks up that space in the Clincheck, then you don't need to add a Ghost IPR. Ghost IPR is only added when it does not pick up that open or light contact in the Clincheck. Then you ask, can I please have 0.1 millimeters IPR on the following sites? Only if it did not pick up the space. Then you do not do that IPR. You do not do it. You do not tell them it's Ghost IPR, you just ask for it. You got to write down, get a member not to do it, and then bingo, you should be money when this is done. Really easy, super fast, quick fix, just a few aligners. That is Ghost IPR. All right, thanks.